So welcome back, everybody. As you can see, we're under the firewood processing barn that's kind of turned into an equipment barn, and we're doing something very special today. We're clearing out this area behind us because coming up very soon, I'm waiting on the barn kit to arrive, we are going to be doing a barn addition back here, along with milling our own lumber, using prefab steel trusses. It's going to be fun, but we've got to make room behind us, clean this mess up, and this is going to be part of getting organized and getting more workroom underneath here and getting all this out of here underneath the big lean-to. But this tree, this one, a couple back there, that one, and that one, we can even mill a little bit of lumber out of that one. They've all got to go. And then I've got some stumps. So we're gonna take the excavator with the old root ripper out here, which is the best way to disturb the least amount of ground, get all this ripped up, and then we need to mow and clean this area, see what we're working with. It's gonna look very different by the end of this episode, and you're gonna get a good general idea of how big we're about to extend this barn out. Let's get started. All right, weapon of choice today is going to be my extremely heavy-duty Rhinox root ripper. Haven't used it in a while, but y'all look at it. It's like 1.5 inch thick steel, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, something like that. And we're going to go down there and start popping all of those pine tree roots, push stuff over, and put this thing to use. But first, let me throw the forks on our little Solus tractor. I haven't run that in a little bit. Start moving stuff around and kind of making us some room over here to go through and get some work accomplished. Well, there is no doubt that this ripper tooth, whatever you want to call it, is the right tool for the job whenever it comes to removing trees like this. Those pine trees, even though they don't look huge, they've got some of the toughest roots there is to break. Like, I've had much easier success pushing over and digging up huge oak trees than I have small pines, just because of the deep tap roots they have. This was definitely the right tool for the job. So while Rhinox doesn't even have a clue that I'm making this video, huge shout out and thank you to them for sponsoring the channel with cool attachments like this, from their awesome trencher and bucket that I have for this to this ripper tooth. And y'all were the ones really pushing and telling me I should get one of these. So I did reach out to them a while back. So thankful to have this. Y'all were absolutely correct. This is the right tool for the job. right, so here we are down in my sand pit where I have got some dirt staged. I like to come out here late in the afternoon sometimes and just dig. I love running equipment. This is just a place for me to relax. But I've got a huge pile of dirt right here you're about to start seeing me dig out of that I've got prepped and ready for any time I need it. We're going to load this dump trailer up and go build us a pad. So this new area where I'm at actually has some low areas and holes that's going to collect water. I don't want that. So we want to build this up a little bit. I'm not going to get extravagant with this pad right here, build it up several inches, haul just load after load. But I want to get it nice and level, and I want to get a little high on the backside where the rain runoff is going to come off the roof so it doesn't flow back underneath and just flood out all my equipment. I may wind up putting a gutter on the backside of this lean-to that we're about to build a little later on. We'll just watch it, see how the rain does. All right, let's get to digging and haul a few trailer loads in. Hopefully by the end of the day today we have this pad built up. We're going to haul several trailer loads, and then we've got to get up there, smooth it all out. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and 80% chance of rain today too, so that may shut us down. Let's see what happens a little later this afternoon. All right, I'd say we made excellent progress. Still a lot of work ahead of us, but this episode was about clearing this area, getting a pad ready, and getting some rock down. Now you can see I've stopped. I've still got to drill holes. I'm going to be throwing dirt back on the rock. We're going to be making a mess, but I wanted to go ahead and get some rock down because we're getting so much rain. I don't want my dirt to wash away. And once we put our post in, make a mess, get the dirt out of the area, we'll continue to carry some rock back. We'll continue to fill these areas in. We need to spray these weeds, kill all that off, because this is all about to be under roof. But I'd say overall, I'm very pleased with the work that we've done here. Having the right equipment definitely makes the job so much easier. So this is about to get big. Let me show you all this. You see over here, this is gonna be where the edge of everything is. I haven't measured back the post, but 16 feet is probably gonna be somewhere right in here. I probably carried the rock a little too far back. We'll be drilling holes there, whatever. So imagine right where I'm standing, this all under lean-to, and it goes all the way to the other end of the barn. So pretty much this entire rock area is about to be a whole new barn addition. So excavator underneath, tractor underneath. Around here on the backside, I can put stuff that's just kind of out of sight, out of mind in this whole area right here. Log splitter in there. So my high use items is gonna go in these 3 bays that I'm constantly gonna be in and out of. I could even come in this other end, maybe take a tree or 2 out. I'll play around with all that. Went ahead and took an extra row of trees out. I could take 1 more, but it doesn't matter. When a hurricane comes, any of these trees, even several rows back, could wind up falling down here. It's just the risk we take with trees and a shop near them. All right, we've got a lot of severe weather on the forecast for the next week. It's gonna really hinder my plans here, but coming up, we're gonna go ahead and start drilling poles. I'm waiting on the barn kit to show up today, actually. We're gonna set our posts. We gotta get that perfect layout done so when we put our metal trusses in, they fit perfectly in between the new post and the old post. And then we've got to run over to the other property. I'm gonna take down a massive yellow pine and we're gonna throw it on the mill, and literally, once we have our trusses up, mill green lumber, put it up. I think it's gonna work just fine for a barn project like this. So that's gonna be fun. We've got some serious milling ahead of us, some barn building, and a cool new tool to help us with all of this as well. Cool new attachment. I'm super excited to share it with y'all. Looking forward to having more room, getting the barn cleaned out. We've got to get back to splitting some firewood. I need to get my work area back. This is gonna allow us to do it. Thank y'all so much for supporting the channel the way that you do. It's because of y'all and because of awesome sponsors, we're able to just fast track our property and projects like this. We don't take it for granted. Catch you on the next one.